Good morning. This is not going to be well, it is going to be an enjoyable morning. It always is an enjoyable morning, and I appreciate the time that you guys spend with me. I really do. My dogs are in here, and they're going to get crazy here in a few minutes because Luna's chewing on Buddy's tail, and Buddy's getting aggravated. And it begins. Go lay down, guys. Excuse me. Come on, out. Go, go, go. Go lay down. All right. All right. If I hadn't at least tried to put a stop to that, it would get worse. It would get worse really quickly. So they have returned. So I had a really crazy, interesting thing happen to me coming home yesterday from the lake. And I got to tell you about it. But first, gosh darn it, man! I tell you what, I don't think ahead of time sometimes. And my glasses are on the desk, and my fan is blowing in my face, and my air purifier is going nonstop. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Come on, guys. Go. Let's disconnect some noise. I'm all for that. Disconnect some noise so that you can hear me clearly as I make noise. Because I'm kind of noisy sometimes. I'm going to try and stay quiet, though. I can't guarantee anything. I really can't. Morning, beautifuls. Hi, Freya. Hi, Christy. Happy Memorial Day is right. Remember to honor our fallen, our soldiers who gave their all so that we can be free. You know, and I used to believe that. I really did. I mean, I believe that our soldiers absolutely sacrifice everything that they have, even when they come home. Even when they come home, they've already sacrificed who they were before they left. Always happens. You know, even when there's no war, even when someone leaves home to be a soldier, and you know they're going to come back as a man, or a woman, you know they're going to be changed. Good morning, Lori. You know they're going to be changed. You know life is not ever going to be the same for them, ever, 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 never again. Because of the training. The training is brutal. It really is. You know, you have to be a special soul to be a soldier. And so when they come home after basic training and, you know, they're still kind of a boy, kind of a man, you know, but you can see that change starting to set in. But if they have to go over there, you know, and we've been in some kind of a skirmish or another since the beginning of the 1900s, I think, you know, the early 1900s, we've been in some skirmish or another. I don't think our country really has ever saw true peacetime. I don't think not in several generations, you know. Has it always been like that around the world? I don't know. But it sure is sad, you know, when you sit and think about it. Really, it's very, very sad. And you start to ask yourself why. You know, why all the war? Why all the fighting? Why all the brutality? And there's no answers to be had. So give honor to those who can, because I myself know that I cannot. You know, and I think most of us are like that. Most of us are like that. You know, that we can't. We could not go to war if we had to. It's just not who we are. Soldiers are warriors. Police officers, firefighters, those people who have to have that adrenaline rush, you know, those type A personalities, just go, go, go. Those people are our warriors. They are to be honored, whether they're soldiers or it doesn't matter who they are. Honor them and honor your loved ones too, you know, because we always think that Memorial Day is the unofficial opening day of summer. You know, that's kind of what generations begin to think of. They forget why Memorial Day was established. So, you know, and I'm not so much one to go around putting flowers on graves. I know where all my family's buried at. You know, I could go find them. But I know in my heart that that is not where they are. So, you know, but I still honor that my mom wants to do that, you know, and I don't tell her no. I just go do it with her, you know. And then maybe when my daughter's older or my grandkids or whoever, we'll go around. I'll take them and I'll show them where their ancestors are buried at, where they grew up. And I think we should all do that. I really do. I'm just not into the whole year, every year thing. I'm just not. You can't hardly get me back into a cemetery after the funeral's over. But still, I still honor them. I still honor those who've fallen. And I know you do too. So, got a few people on here now. I got to tell you guys what happened over the weekend. It was so stinking weird. I'm going to tell you the weirdness first. Then I'm going to tell you the kind of scary, sad, frightening news after that, how bad the water levels are in our lake regions. So my sister, I got her a very special ringtone on my phone. Very special ringtone. She's the only person who has this ringtone, and it is this. I'm going to try and do this quickly. In fact, I can't get it to play this time. I got it to play earlier, and I said, okay, cool, that's what it is. It's the Joker. It's the Joker. It's his laugh. It's the one out of Suicide Squad. I don't know his name because I don't know actors and actresses like that. Yeah, Joe. Well, thank you for trying. Thank you for trying. Know that you are better served at home. Anywho's, it's the Joker laugh from the Joker who is from the Suicide Squad, and he's laying and there's candles and knives all around him. He's all, so that's her ringtone. I was holding on to my phone. We're driving home, and she and her husband left behind us, but we took different routes. And all of a sudden, and my phone is synced to my car. I forgot to tell you that. My phone is synced to my car so that I can answer it if I'm driving down the road hands-free. So my sister's ringtone starts playing over the radio. And I said, oh, well, that's weird. So I'm fiddling with my phone trying to answer the phone. And it's not making sense to me. My brain isn't connecting all of this stuff, right? So my phone is on its home screen. It's on its home screen. And so I tried to pull down the drop-down bar and see if maybe I could get to it that way. Still ringing, and so I finally, I turned it off so that I could call her back. So I hit the disconnect button on the steering wheel. My husband's driving. It wasn't 2 seconds later that ringtone came over the radio again, came over the speakers in the car again. And I'm like, Sissy, I can't get to you. I can't answer the phone. And so, and I'm starting to get confused by now because things are just not ticking the way they should. And so I went back to my home screen. I hit the phone button and I called my sister. And I said, Sissy, because before I turned it off, I could hear. I answered the phone. I answered the phone on the steering wheel the second time, right? First time I turned it off so I could call her back because I couldn't figure it out on my phone. The second time that ringtone came across, I hit the answer button on the steering wheel. And I'm still confused, looking at my phone going, hello, hello. I could hear background noise. Like somebody was in an office or, there was some kind of activity in the background. And then I heard a whisper, and the whisper said, can you hear me? Like that. And I was like, yeah, I hear you, Sissy, I hear you. And I couldn't hear her say anything again. And I looked at my husband, I said, do you think she butt dialed me? And he said, I don't know. And I said, did you hear what she said? And he said, I didn't hear anything. I said, she whispered into the phone, can you hear me? And he said, no, I didn't hear that. And so there's still the background noise, but no more voices that I could understand. So I hit the off button on the steering wheel again and went to call my sister back, and it did it again. Oh, I was kind of creeped out by now, but I was more concerned that something was going on with my sister. So, I cleared my phone off, got back to that home screen again and dialed her number and said, Wendy, did you just call me? And she's like, I might have butt dialed you. I don't know. And I said, no, seriously, did you call me? Because this happened 3 times in a row. And she said, no, I didn't call you. And I said, Wendy, come on. You're the only one with that ringtone. And so she's absolutely got me convinced that no, she did not do that. That was not her. And I turn down the sound and move that out of the way. Thank you. So I started recounting the story to her, telling her how it happened. And I'm going, Wendy, that's just the weirdest thing, because, that now that I think about it, your phone number never came up on my screen. It just came across on the radio, and it didn't have her name on there either. It had the Joker title, the title of the phone ringtone. So I made sure she was okay, and we talked about it for a few minutes. I'm telling you what, Joe, it was a little bit creepy. It really was a little creepy. I'm going to change the ringtone today, because the ringtone itself is a little creepy, but now it's got some background to it. I don't think I want to hear that every time my phone rings. And I will never get over, I can't get that whisper, can you hear me, out of my head. Can't get that out of my head. I mean, I just keep hearing that over and over and over again. So my sis connects with me last night. It's kind of late. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And she said, hey, did you ever ask your guides who it was that was trying to call you? And I said, no, I didn't even think about it. And she said, well, would you? So I said, sure, yeah. So I did. And they told me that it was my dad that was trying to connect with us. And it really kind of made perfect sense, because my sister and brother-in-law and my husband and I had spent the weekend together along with my cousin and his family. And just really had a beautiful time, and finally settled on some choices, because my husband and I had decisions to make. Morning, Julie. Decisions to make regarding our future, where we're going to live after we move out of this apartment, because you know how I feel about this apartment. I really can't stand it. I can't stand this apartment. Anyway, we might, I don't know what we're going to do. We thought about moving down to the Ozarks. We thought about buying a travel trailer, camper trailer, fifth wheel, something, Class C RV. So we've been looking at everything, and we've been looking at options on where we wanted to buy. And I think that we decided over the weekend, my cousin and my brother-in-law had great ideas, and talked to my husband about it. And my husband's, when guys get together and discuss things, they discuss things on a different level than when, like, I'm talking to my husband, because I was sitting there going, man, I asked you the same thing, and you just shot me down. So I said, does this mean that whenever I have a really good idea, I need to tell Kevin so he can tell you? And he's like, no. No, you don't have to do that. So I don't know what we've decided. I think we decided on a small house closer to town and a travel trailer thing. I would love it too. I really would. I am a kind of girl who wants to go out and explore the world around me. The United States alone. And really, that's where I want to be at, is the United States. I don't care about going to Mexico, although Canada is quite appealing. I'd love to travel up there, up north. But to travel overseas, love to go to Alaska. Once upon a time I did. Once upon a time I wanted to travel overseas and go to Europe, go to Russia. Would love to go see Russia. Just the country itself is just beautiful. I love old history. I love ancient history. As far back as Egyptians and Atlantis and Sumerians. I love all that history, but I also love recent old history. Just history, I guess, just history in general. I find it very, very fascinating, and very curious how so many different civilizations can come together and then just disappear, whether all at one time or quietly one at a time, and leave nothing behind except what they wrote down in stone. I mean, there's no technology, and if there is, we don't understand it. And if we did understand it, well, they already got it, and we're not going to hear about it, you know? That's the sad thing, you know. When I said honor those who have fallen so that we may be free, I think our freedom isn't as easy to come by as it used to be. You know, the government gives us all the freedoms that we want, and that's the truth. You know, the Constitution is written in such a way that we really do have the freedom to bear arms. We have the freedom to hold a weapon in our hand, because I think bearing arms and holding a weapon are two different things. I really do. Although people will debate that tooth and nail, and you know, that's all right. See, Sheila, I think that Africa has got some incredibly beautiful country. You know, as much as Ireland and Scotland and United Kingdom and Alaska. Oh, I want to go to Alaska bad. Want to go to China. Want to go to China. Would love to go to Japan. Love to go visit the Asian countries all the way around. But so stinking dangerous. So stinking dangerous. Not only to be a white person, a white female. Let me say that. To be a white female in another country is dangerous. To be a white American female in another country is, well, can be self-sacrificing. Sure can. How bad do you want that vacation, man? I don't want it that bad. I don't want it that bad. I don't trust so many other countries to keep me safe. You know, in the United States, we pretty much have to worry about our own homegrown crazies. But really, our country is so secure anymore with closed-circuit TV, video cameras, surveillance. They can hear what you're thinking almost anymore. Go by your body language to see what kind of mood you're in. Maybe they should tail you for a while. It's kind of crazy, you know. That's the freedoms that I'm talking about losing. It's your local freedoms. It's where you work at. It's where you live, you know. I live in an apartment that wants to tell me that I can and cannot do specific things that go against me in every way, you know. Literally, your dog can play in the play yard, but he can't poop in the play yard. If he poops in the play yard, you have to clean it up. Any good person would. You know, but it's not there for that purpose. It's to be played in. Now, if your dog wants to poop, he can poop on the grass, but he can't poop on the grass in front of the clubhouse because that would be unsightly. Plus that, only about 75% of the people who have pets clean up after their pets around here. So, you know, dog got to do what dog got to do, and it's up to the owners to clean up after them. And responsible pet owners do, because when you live in an apartment, you know, if you live in a house, you don't have kids, you don't ever go out in your backyard, let them go make mud all they want. But when you live in an apartment complex, you have to think about people around you. And, you know, so that's just being polite, though. Julie, or excuse me, Joe, that's funny. That's funny. Joe said that she changed her mind about going to Ireland and Alaska. She'll just astro travel. It's safer and she doesn't need a passport. I love that. I think that's great. So, yeah, travel is not as safe as it once was. And the restrictions that we feel in our environment are very, very real. Very real, you know. And all this came about in one fell swoop, I think. I really do. But that's just my conspiracy theory side thinking out loud again. Hey, I got the microphone problem fixed. I put it in front of me today. Friday I wasn't so good on that. Listen, I got to tell you some really crazy bad news. It is bad news. It is bad news. I'm trying to shake my head going, come on, Sharon, you can do better than that. But it's really pretty horrifying news if you think about it. My husband and I went down to the Ozarks over the weekend. The Ozarks is, I think, the whole lake system. It's kind of a river system that's been dammed up to create man-made lakes, and one of the biggest reservoir is Truman Lake Reservoir, just outside of Warsaw, Missouri, and it's considered to be the beginning of the Ozarks. You know, they dammed that up. There's a dam there at Truman Lake, and Truman Lake feeds into the Ozarks. And the Ozark system is really long, and like I said, it's more like a very wide river that has been dammed up in certain areas along the river to create the lakes. And Bagnell Dam, I think, is the one that feeds the southern part of Missouri. It provides electricity for maybe that part of Missouri. I don't know where it all goes. But in 1993, when we had that devastating flood across America, it was more towards the east, Kansas City and points eastward, you know, maybe some parts up in Nebraska, Iowa. I don't really remember clearly all of that, but I know Kansas City got hit with some devastating floods. Well, they predicted last month, they being, you know, whoever I listened to on YouTube. I don't know who predicted it. I really don't. But I heard the prediction that this spring and early summer, the flooding was going to rival that of 1993. Truman Lake Dam is now 1 foot above the level of water that it held in 1993, and the flooding, instead of being Kansas City and points east, is more north and east, or north and west. You know, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, just getting hammered with floods. And now they were talking about they're going to have to let out some of that water from Truman Dam, but they can't let it out so that it's going to flood down further down into the Ozarks, because the Ozarks are at capacity. I mean, it's bad. It is bad. I didn't realize how bad the flooding was until we went down there, and we went to there's a floating marina down there that my cousins and my brother-in-law, they both co-own a boat, and they have it moored at the floating arena. Well, I don't know how far the distance is. I really don't, but I would say that marina was probably a good quarter of a mile into the lake water, and the water was flooded up to the road, and you know, there were some motels that were looking at the water. They just happened to be built up on a pretty good sized hill, so chances that the motel is going to get flooded is slim, but it's still very, very possible. Very possible, because they're expecting, you ready for this, Danielle? They're expecting Truman Reservoir to come up another 3 feet before June 1st. If it comes up another 3 feet, it's going to spill over the dam. And the integrity of the dam is really questionable right now. Serious situation in Missouri. Yeah, but I was looking at not only the tornadoes. Was there 52 tornadoes in one day, 24-hour period? Just blows my mind. Blows my mind. It is crazy, Danielle. It is absolutely insane. We drove over 1 mile bridge, and that is going across Truman Lake. I don't know what highway it's on, but 1 mile bridge the water was not far. You know where you've got the bridge pylons that come up, the big posts that hold up each side of the deck, and then you have the big concrete pillar part that comes up that really supports the weight of the roadway. The water was up almost to that widest part towards the top of the concrete on those pillars. It was kind of creepy, kind of scary. Yeah. So it's very, very high, and they're expecting it with no more rain, forecasted to go. Just what's in the water now, what's in the ground, what's draining into the river, all the tributaries, because there's a lot of tributaries, a lot of little creeks that feed these rivers down there. Yeah, yeah, we are too. We are too. And Danielle's right. The Missouri River's coming out of its banks all over Kansas City. The Kansas River's coming out of its banks. It's just, but, excuse me. I keep going back to Oklahoma and parts of Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa. My God, man, they're just so far underwater. I was a little encouraged to see that there were some fields planted, but they sure didn't have very much growth. You know how it is, you can still see all the dirt, but you've got a little fine mist of green coming over the top. So they have not been planted long, but at least they got a little bit of crops in down there. But for the most part, boy, it's really a dangerous situation down south. It's a dangerous situation everywhere. And tomorrow in our area, in this Kansas, Missouri area, we are supposed to have some pretty nasty storms. I mean, some really bad ones. They said the worst they're expecting tomorrow. So, sending off all sorts of good energy, no matter where you are. And I do believe that that energy helps to negate some of the effect of the storms. And I was watching. This is something interesting too. That those of you who live around this area, if you watch, or even if you live wherever you live, it doesn't matter. Watch the radar track that shows the storms coming up. As they're coming up to Kansas City, Kansas City must have a pretty good sized bubble of heat around it, because, we got some storm, but we didn't get near what was coming. It just seemed like it fell apart as soon as it hit that city bubble. The storms just fell apart all around us, and I think they reignited going more farther north and east, but Kansas City really was really spared. I got to step around my camera again and get my glasses. I'm sorry. Another one of these mornings. It's Monday, by the way. But hey, I want you to know that I did my best to prepare early, and I don't know how well I did. I didn't do too good. I still had to get up and go get stuff, didn't I? So I'm still trying, man. Still trying. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. Dog woke me up, and was thinking about rolling over and going back to sleep, to be honest with you, just to kind of let her know that she's not going to rule me, damn it. I'm going to tell her who's boss around here. And then I saw just the faintest flash of lightning and said, crap, I got to get up. I don't want to get up yet. The storm Friday parted around Cleveland. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So I really do think that part of that is just the positive energy, the prayers that people say. Because when we pray, and the thing is about prayer and meditation and sending a thumbs up or telling somebody you're in my prayers, telling somebody, sending you out healing energy, good vibrations, whatever it is, when we are lifting people up, that energy does go out. And it goes out into the universe, and it goes out so much more. When I was grounding this morning and saying my good morning to everybody, my morning prayers, as I was grounding, I was calling to mind my chakras, and peeling away the gunk. I was brushing it off. I was peeling it off. I was wiping it off. I was calling it to mind, asking that whatever's mine, let me keep and bring it to my attention so that I can take care of it if it's a problem, or I can recognize it and honor it for whatever part of my life it is. And if it's not mine, give it to who it belongs to. If it belongs to the earth, let the earth have it. If it goes to spirit, let spirit have it. And then you give spirit all the joy. Hey, Lauren, welcome. You give spirit all the joy and all the happiness and all the peace and the peace of mind and the good, healthy, positive energy. Give that up. Give that to the universe, When you send out happiness and joy, it really does go out. Same thing as bad news, when you say something bad and they say, oh, karma's going to pick that up, take it out the universe, spin it around 7 times, and bring it back and throw it right in your face. Well, yeah, it happens like that. But so does the good stuff. So does the good stuff. And Spirit really wanted me to remind you of that this morning if you don't know anything else. If you know nothing else, know that the good stuff, when we send it out to the universe, it does pick up steam and it builds and it builds and it comes back and it smacks us right in the face with a great big old kiss. Right there. Big old kiss. Morning to everybody. Missy and Lauren, good to see you again. It's been a while. Glad you're up early with us. And energy with these storms, my God. And I've been so amazed at how this storm system is every single day. For how many days now? Been firing up in the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. And then skirting across Oklahoma and kind of going up this way towards Kansas City. It's insane. And they just keep going over and over and over again. They just keep refiring. Insomnia. Insomnia. All right, I'm going to read this morning. I'm going to read a few cards. I'm glad you have insomnia this morning and found me. Glad you found me. I really am glad you're here, Lauren. It's always good to have you, my friend. It's been so long. All right, I pulled one off the top today. Dearest you, this is. Where's my box? Where's my lid? Hang on, I gotta pimp a product here. Pimp out a product. This is Postcards from Spirit by Colette Baron Reid. Absolutely one of the best cards. You call them oracle cards if you want, but I really like to think of them more as daily inspirational cards. Colette Baron Reid. Find her on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Amazon. That's where I got these cards. Thank you very much, Lauren. I like this too. Like my video on the sun. Oh, that video that I posted up. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was a good one, wasn't it? I like that guy. He's a really good, I think it was Suspicious Observer that posted that up. He's a really, really good YouTuber. He pulls from scientific readings and not just from the ethers. You know, he backs up what he has to say, and I really appreciate that about him. Dearest you, we have something exciting to share with you. You are a manifesting master and don't even know it. There'll always be enough of everything that you need in your life. There'll always be enough money, enough opportunities, love, kindness. So whatever you're asking guidance about, have faith and be open to the many ways in which you will experience prosperity. Spirit is the source of your supply. The universe is always reflecting back to you what you believe. So whenever you fall into insecurity, you'll be shown an illusion of fear as if your fears were real. Remember the What If movies? But the truth is that the universe is abundant. You are and always have been enough. And abundance is your natural state. So if you can imagine something consistently as truth, you can and will create it. You're so on the right path now. Keep believing, and then seeing happens. Loving you more and more every day. Wow. English is rocking. English is rocking today. He is rocking. That card was right on to what we were talking about, not only earlier, but just right before I drew that card. Talking about what we send out to the universe. And making sure, really making sure that, if you send out something negative, don't like throw out 2 or 3 positives just to cover that negative up, because it's not going to work. But try to repay the karma, or repair. I think repair the karma is a much better word than repay. So if you can repair the karma, repair the karma. If that means an apology, give that apology. If that means replacing something that was broken, then replace it. Don't be afraid. The items don't matter. Items do not matter. But the thought that you care to give to somebody else, if you break something, if you lose something of theirs, if you hurt their heart and need to apologize, the thought that you take to do those things create a much stronger bond. And the thing that needed to be replaced, it doesn't need to be replaced so much anymore, right? Making a mess this morning. I wonder how Wiz is doing. I haven't heard from Wiz. I haven't heard from Freya over the weekend. Everybody was off doing their thing. And today, too, lots of people sleeping in. I don't blame you for that. I would sleep in on a Monday, too, if I could. Let's pull another card. I'm going to do another couple more, and then I'm probably going to get off of here and see what's going on in my neighborhood. For some reason, I'm smelling breakfast, and that's very distracting. I'm going to have to talk to Hubs about that. I'm saying, hey, if you're going to cook breakfast, you need to cook it about 30 minutes sooner so I can eat it while it's hot. Dearest you, sometimes it's wonderful to give, but then there are times when you might find yourself overgiving. Now might be a good time to check in and see where you might be cutting off the flow of abundance in your life. Let others give to you, even if you're more comfortable being generous and being the giver, the healer, the rescuer. In the art of living, we sometimes overlook an important skill: receiving gracefully and with gratitude, without diminishing yourself or trying to deny vulnerability or bringing in an agenda of equality to it. Receiving is hard for some people, and maybe even you, but please realize that you do not need this for that in your exchange with others. You're doing good in the world. Let the world give it back to you and support you. Then you can give up the old stories that have you convinced that you have to do everything alone with no help. Let your well be filled. We all love you so, so much. Let your well be filled today. Man, I like that. I like that. Fill your well with abundance. These cards are so true. They are so true. Excuse me. And not in just that we tend to try to give. When someone gives to us, we're like, oh, let me give you this. You try to make it an equal exchange. When the truth is that the gift that is given, like I said, it's meaningless, but it's the thought behind it. It's not meaningless. The gift has meaning, but it is meaningless without the thought behind it. So consider that when you try to give, when you are being asked to receive, and you feel like you have to give in return, so that you can have a balance and equity to it, equality to it. And if you can keep that in mind, then that can at least pause you, make you think for a second, do I really need to give something back? Do I need this to be an exchange? Or can it just be an honest gift that someone thought to do for me? Take that into consideration. Julie, I absolutely truly understand what you're saying. You said, I have joy in giving, but my husband did not, which was very hard. It is hard. But you know what? Honestly, when my husband and I first got married, and we've been married now, we're going on our 17th year, and we still are opposites to a point, but in reality, we're much more closer together than we ever have been in our lives, because that duality, that yin and yang that we had in our life to begin with, we had to find our balance, because we knew there was balance there. We knew there was balance. We just had to find it, and it took a long time for us to find it. One of the things was the fact that I am a giver, and I will give people chance after chance after chance to a point. I'm not ignorant in my giving. I'm selfless. If you need something and you really need it, it's yours. It is yours, especially if it's just sitting there on a shelf looking pretty. It's yours. You have need for that, take it. I'll let you have it. And I won't ask, what do you need it for? You say, I need that, I look at it, and okay, if you need it, right? My husband, on the other hand, wants to know the whys. Why? Why do they need it? What is she thinking? What's she going to do with it? What's going to go after that? How much is it going to cost? What's it going to mean to me? When do I get it back? And I'm like, none of that matters, right? And he's like, oh yeah, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. You need to realize that. So, after many, many years of it being very, very difficult to be a giver with someone who is not a giver, excuse me, we finally struck that balance, and that balance was that I don't always have to give. No matter how happy it makes me, I don't always have to give. And receiving is really a hell of a lot of fun. If you do it with dignity, and you do it with grace, and you do it with a thankful heart, receiving is a beautiful thing. So don't discount receiving either. My husband taught me that. My husband taught me that. Yeah, see, Julie, and they absolutely do, because, my God, we would be in the poorhouse and broke and needing people to give to us, but then they're still looking at us going, oh, how come you're not still giving to me? I need first. What about me? Right. I'm with you, Julie. I'm with you. We're dancing on the same floor. Oh my gosh. Thanks for joining me this morning. Really. It's good to have you with me. Always good to have you with me. All right. English, Yoshashan, Grandmother Faye. It was a good weekend. That was sure a creepy ride home, though. That was just different. Dearest Hugh, sometimes it's wonderful to give. Now, all right, Julie. This one's for you. Sometimes it's wonderful to give, but there are times that you might find yourself overgiving. Now, it might be a good time to check in and see where you're flowing off. Did I just not read this? Ha! I just read this. My God. I put it on top of my deck. Thought I shuffled it. I didn't. Let's try it again. Pull another one off the top. Oh, I love Spirit. Spirit's fun. Dearest you, try this one more time. I know, Julie. We bet you must be exhausted some days, giving as much as you do, sharing your energy so beautiful in service to the highest good. And this can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. When I see the word depleted, I think of a flat tire. Not an empty well. It feels as if there's no more water for you. The good news is that we have a plan. Today, go take a relaxing bath, book a massage, read a novel, buy yourself flowers, plant some in your garden. Make time for self-care and not more work on yourself. By tending to yourself now, you are reminded to do so more often. And be sure to use a word that might have caused you anxiety in the past, but is essential for your well-being now. No. Use that word, no. Say it with me now. No. No, thank you. No, I can't. You don't have to explain why not. Just say no. in a gentle but firm way, and then go for a soak. Life will wait for you to bring yourself back to center, replenished and ready for more adventure. We love you so very much. I like that. Go soak. Soak in the tub. Go for a walk in the woods. Do something today. Something to lift your spirits, but not only your spirits, somebody else's too. You know, if you see a field of wild flowers and it doesn't say keep off the grass or don't pick flowers, go pick a flower. Put it in a vase for yourself. Or maybe put it in a vase and give it to somebody else. You know. The thing is that we really don't have to worry as much as we think we do. We really don't. We don't have to hurry as quickly as we feel like we do some days. We don't have to fret and just be a burden to ourselves, you know, and I think that's a huge thing. I really do. Sometimes we are burdens to ourselves. So don't be a burden to yourself. Give yourself some freedom to relax and to have fun and to smile and to play and to be generous with yourself today. Please. Read a good book. Do something for you. You know, because really, really you deserve it. You really do. Keep sending out those good vibrations to the universe, to the earth, to the weather, to our friends and our family here, to each other, and to you and your loved ones. And I will do the same. Giving you love every day and wishing nothing but your highest and greatest good. Nothing but the best for you. All right? So go take today and do with it what you will. But I just hope you enjoy it to the fullest. Have a beautiful day, you guys. Love to you all.